if you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
They're here now, you know.
Huh?
They're here.
Who's here?
The aliens. We had this discussion on this channel months ago, and I told you that the universe was too big for us to be the only intelligent life forms, and now they're here.
Listen,
and they may have been here for a very long time.
I was thinking about it earlier, right? And I was thinking to myself, these aliens, right, must be so much more advanced than us.
Yeah, of course.
That, like, if you think about what we've managed to do, yet we still haven't done that much from what we know, what we're being told. But if they're literally making it to planet Earth and making themselves essentially seen or known or heard or whatever you want to call it, they're clever or they've got some really good technology or something, because that's crazy.
I think it's very possible that the government has lied to us so much that we have technology that exceeds our basic understanding, and that we may have actually been traveling to wherever they are and making contact. Because from what I understand of this story,
I don't think it's gone that far, you know.
I think it has, because from what I understand of this story, the government has been hiding this for years. The first contact of aliens apparently recorded, I can't remember if they said it was in Italy or not, but it was around the First World War, so it's quite a long time ago. What you're about to see in this video, the whistleblowers said that they have been keeping this secret for very long, and they've been in contact with these aliens, and not all of these aliens have landed on this planet. Some of them have come here in one piece and gotten out their spaceships.
If they're communicating with the aliens, then what would be the need for the aliens to show up like this?
I don't know, but we're assuming that there's only one type of alien that they're in contact with. I mean, it's not hard to believe that humans would piss other life forms off. So let's say that they're in contact with some aliens from planet X, and then aliens from planet Y are like, fuck these guys, and they come here as well. It's not, I know it might sound ridiculous, but it's not out of the realms of possibility, right? That's what we do here. We piss off one country and the other country's like, fuck those guys.
So what, they're getting out their spaceships. How are we not going to notice them?
Well, apparently people have seen them now.
Yeah, but what do they look like?
Do you want to watch the video?
Yeah. Am I going to see it?
No, we don't see anything yet. Not yet.
I just want to say one thing though, or two things. First thing is, why do you think the government would gatekeep such information?
Because it could change what everything that we've ever known about human history. All of our religious beliefs could potentially be thrown out the window with the existence of aliens.
Why?
Because people think that aliens are just life forms that exist somewhere in the universe, but aliens, something being an alien life form on this planet just means it came from somewhere else, not of this planet. But that can be anything. It doesn't mean that it came from another part of the universe. It could be a higher form of existence in another plane of another dimension.
Yeah.
They would have to rewrite human history.
I just find it so hard to believe all of this stuff.
Well, why? There's like, so many planets out there.
Because it's like if you think about it, yeah, we have the discussion of ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? You might hear stories, but until you have a ghost encounter yourself, you're never going to know if it's real or not. So until I have an alien come and talk to me and I have an interaction or an encounter with one, it's all make-believe in my head.
Well, so you're not open-minded to the idea at all?
I'm open-minded to the idea, but still just hearing about another dimension and if they're coming here, it's all a bit much.
Well, we know that things exist beyond a single light year, right?
What does that mean?
Like, things exist light years away. Like, you've seen that video of the universe and how small we are, how insignificant
yeah, there's
we
a
are.
really big galaxy, yeah, but I just think it's loads of... It's weird, because if you think about we are humans floating on an Earth.
What do you think?
I just think it's loads of rocks and fires and
that's it. There's nothing else out there.
Well, thinking about it now as I'm talking about it, yeah, surely there must be if we're on Earth. But if you look at the planets close to us in the solar system, we pretty much already know that there's nothing going on any of these planets because they're not habitable.
Oh, on what planet? What are you talking about?
What planet am I on?
Yeah, what planet you took? Because there's hundreds of planets.
I'm just talking about in the solar system, the 7 planets: Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, all of that stuff. Pluto.
Those are the ones that are in close proximity to us.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. I don't know, Michael. I don't know about this stuff, but you know how we'll never really know how we got here, how the world got created. Like, I know there's religious beliefs to it and stuff, but the concept of just we're born, we live a lifespan of maybe max 100 years, and then we die, and we don't really ever get answers.
That we know of, but we're not government officials. We're not people in high positions of power.
Okay, so answer this for me then. This was my second question. What do you think will happen if the government just exposed everything that they know, and you knew that there was life on these galaxies and planets and dimensions and whatever, and there's aliens and aliens are amongst us and all this stuff? What do you think is going to happen? You think the world's going to go crazy?
Yeah.
And do what? What
humans
I know
always
that
do.
aliens exist right now. What can I possibly do? I can't do nothing
maybe not
about
you,
it.
but you're sane of mind. You're not going to get up and go out and start rioting, or you're not going to go to like government official places and being like, you lied to me. You don't think people are going to go out there with Molotovs and pitchforks and their signs going, liars, liars, tell us the truth, this, that, and the other.
What are they lying about? Just because they're not disclosing the information to you doesn't mean they're lying.
Yeah, but it's a cover-up. If alien life forms have been coming to this planet for years and the government have not been telling us and saying that
So
a lot of these
what?
people that think about this stuff are just conspiracy theorists and whack jobs, that's a cover-up.
So what?
What do you mean, so what? You're also assuming that the life forms that come here just come here for like a cup of tea, they have a talk with the government and they go about their business. There's no telling. If something is able to travel to our planet and break our atmosphere and land safely, they must have technology beyond our wildest imagination.
100%, that's what I'm thinking, but I just don't understand why people need to be so pressed about it.
Because why cover up in the first place? What's the reason? If it's not a big deal, why cover up?
Maybe they're still searching for answers themselves. Maybe they don't know enough to start exposing it. Like, for example, how can I give this example now? If I was telling you, this is how you make a cake. These are the ingredients you need. But I don't know how to actually make the cake. I just know the ingredients. It's going to be pointless me telling you the ingredients because you don't know how to make that cake. So if they know about this stuff but not enough, it's pointless them telling us until they know the ins and outs.
But that's a wild assumption to think that they don't know the ins and outs. Why would you assume that? This is the government we're talking about.
I understand.
And this is probably above the government's head as well. There's so many things that could be going on because of the existence of aliens. It's not just life forms come to this planet. If look, I'm going to play this video for you.
Like what? No, expand.
They could have all types of technology. They could have the ability to time travel.
Yeah, they seem like they've got magical superpowers, but that's just us making up fantasies in our head.
But they don't even necessarily have to be from this universe. They could be a higher form of existence, which would call into question all of our religious scriptures.
Yeah, this is too much for my brain. This is a lot to digest.
Okay, it's too much for your brain. Now think of somebody that's a bit more unhinged than you, taking this all in. Everything they've ever believed has been lied. They've been lied to by the government. I mean, the government lied to us all the time anyway. And then on top of this, everything we know about human history, everything we think we know about the existence of God or any of these religious scriptures, all flips on its head instantly. What do you think somebody...
I don't think it will, though. Why is it going to change religion?
I'm saying potentially. Because if these are higher life form, I'm not even saying aliens now, these could be beings from a higher form of existence.
I don't understand what you're saying when you say that.
Okay, there's aliens, right? There's life forms that exist in our universe, whether those are bacteria or actual sentient beings. I'm saying that if the beings that came here are not just aliens, but they exist on a plane of existence that maybe mirrors ours, but is of a higher life form. Think like angels, for example. They exist on a higher life form, like in heaven, on a higher plane of existence, sorry. If those things are the things that are coming to Earth that they're talking about, because that's one of the theories.
I'm sorry, I just don't understand what you mean when you're saying a higher life form.
What do you think?
What
is heaven?
Heaven is the place that you go when you die and you've been good on planet Earth.
Okay, but like, how would you describe it? Like, as in, because we exist here, right? And hell would exist down here. Heaven would be a higher form of existence, right? You ascend to heaven. if these beings come from some sort of
So you're
realm,
trying to say that they're better than us.
potentially, but it's not just
It's
about
all
being
assumptions.
better.
They might be just trying to figure out as much as us, and they might be thinking, these people on these aliens on Earth are so clever, and they might be thinking we're the ones who can time travel and morph into different shit.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
We don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. The fact is that the government has been hiding this stuff from us, and people are speaking out about it in the government now. An Air Force pilot, I think, he was one that was trusted.
How do you know that they've not just paid this guy to act like he's done it to try and slowly start easing us in or getting people talking about it?
That's a potential.
Well, you
as
can't
well.
believe everything. So he to me, he doesn't just seem like a normal innocent person who just wants to expose all this stuff. It seems a bit set up.
It could be set up. It could be a distraction for something else.
Could be.
But I don't believe that we are the only sentient life forms on this planet that are able to function the way we are. Because obviously we have animals.
Yeah.
I have believed, I'll be open with you guys, I have believed for a long time that these things have been walking amongst us and we just don't know it. The world's very big and there's a lot of weird things out there.
Sorry. After you.
Go on.
No, sorry.
Go on.
No, because I was going to say, because like, it is weird because when you think about, like, say, how long it takes to get to the moon, how long does it take? 365 days?
I don't know how long it takes to get to
I
the
think
moon.
it takes 365 days. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. And so traveling to a part of space is a whole year away. So you got to think they're literally living in to go to certain parts of America is like 8 hours behind us. Australia is like 24 hours. Like they're in a completely different time frame completely. Like,
You say 365 days. It takes 3 days to get to the moon. 365. You think motherfuckers are traveling for a year to the moon? Anyway, continue with your story.
I did say don't quote me. I'm sure something takes 365 days. It's a whole year.
Yeah, a year takes 365 days. Anyway, continue. What were you saying?
Don't quit your day job. That's what I'm saying. You're not funny. Right. I'm basically saying they're in a completely different time frame to us. Like, just everything's just, I don't know. I'm just assuming. I'm just making up a fantasy in my head right now. This is just crazy.
But this is not a fantasy. A whistleblower has come forward and said that we have alien spacecrafts on this planet and that they have been walking amongst us for years. A whistleblower from the military.
How could aliens be walking amongst us for years and not one single human has ever realized anything?
Maybe they're shapeshifters. I mean, there's animals.
So it's life is supernatural now.
No, but there's animals on this planet that can shapeshift.
What, like a chameleon, change color?
Yeah, or even change color. There's some animals that literally grow tails to mimic what other animals look like to catch their prey. Like I think there's spiders that have like something that, or scorpions, they change their tail to look like something. So when something comes in to eat them, they grab it. It's not out the realms of possibility for people to adapt.
There might be dinosaurs still on another planet.
Well, there might be. You never know. Anyway, I want to show you this video before we watch the whistleblower
We can't say
video.
we'll never know because maybe they're going to give us some answers.
Well, that's what's going on now. It's all over the news.
Yeah, but there's still no answers.
There's
It's
no
just a guy
answers.
saying, yeah, I saw aliens.
No, it's not just a guy now. Someone called in the other day saying that there were 9-foot men standing in his garden. And on the CCTV camera, you can see and you can hear the explosion go off at the same time that blue light is falling through the sky.
Because this is another thing as well. Whenever you see funky lights in the sky, you can't always just assume it's an alien. Could be
True.
anyone doing anything. There's so many people on this planet. I said to Michael today, Michael, can you help me let off a lantern? I'm going to let off a lantern. Someone might see that float in the sky and go, oh my God, it's an alien. Little do they know it's just me and Michael letting off a lantern.
Yeah, but when higher ranking officials look at something, they go, that's not a human spacecraft. That's not a lantern. That's not a balloon. That is moving in ways that our technology cannot replicate. There was somebody that went on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm not going to put all the clips on here because there was even a clip that went up today on WorldStar. Let me show it. I'm not going to
Are you going to show me these 9-foot creatures?
I'm not going to put this on screen because it could be BS. But there are weird videos and images coming out everywhere now.
There is, but it's just so typical how all the stuff in the sky always looks like the typical alien. what would you call it? Spaceship.
That didn't even look like a spaceship.
It was a round black circle.
Yeah, but did that not look weird? I mean, if it's not CG.
That's what I'm saying. You've shown me videos of someone pretending to be Morgan Freeman and it wasn't even Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, but that's real. That AI did do that.
Exactly. So what, you can't believe every little video you see.
I didn't say I believe.
No, I know
That's why I'm
you
not
said
putting
it might be BS, but I'm just saying, like, until we have the encounter ourselves, there is no way to know. Even if the government done a live broadcast right now, aliens, blah, 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 how are we still going to know that they're telling the truth?
Yeah, but you can say that about anything. If they show us a video of London Bridge getting bombed, are you going to sit there and go, it's probably fake? You can't say that for every single thing.
Southern Nevada is abuzz tonight with stories about the crash of an unknown object and the alleged sighting of strange creatures in the backyard of a Northwest Valley home.
No. Just before I even listen to him talk, look at this picture. Is that a Google image or something? Because why does the spaceship look exactly how humans have designed spaceships to look?
That's just to represent what they're talking about.
Yeah,
that's
so
not an actual picture of the spacecraft.
Okay, cool, fine.
Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of the yard, where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates cruising slowly past the house in the following days. Nellis and Creech have denied any interest or involvement with the incident. Metro has indicated they believe the family that something crashed in their yard. But what?
Why always America? Why have the aliens come and said, I'm going to go to America? Why is it not happening anywhere else on the whole planet? You're telling me it lands in America.
No, that's not true. The first alien, as far as I'm aware, the first alien sighting or retrieval of like alien hardware was in Italy. I think it was Italy or Russia, one of them. But it's not always America. It's just America's a very big place, and people are under the impression that the government, the American government, are the ones that are in contact with the aliens.
It sounds like he's just had a brownie.
That looked like a very serious situation to me. And they did hear the bang on the Ring camera. I know that doesn't mean that it was an alien spacecraft that crash landed there, but I do think that it's a bit weird that incident took place and there were multiple people saying that some shit was going on.
Greenish, greyish colour. Aliens are always green in our make-believe world.
But they say that Hollywood like depicts things because it comes from a little bit of truth.
The way he's saying like, oh, my vision was not blurry, but everything was just blurry.
No, he's saying that where he was looking at where the aliens were, it's like there was a force field from where they had crashed, so it looked blurry. it's not outside the realms of possibility for them to have technology that would blur or distort something. We have technology that blurs our vision and distorts what we look at as well. Are you so against this because you're scared that they might actually be
No,
here?
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
If there was a 10-foot creature in your garden right now.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Hugo's out there.
Yeah.
You won't be out there for long.
They ain't going to take my dog.
No?
No.
He probably looks like an alien to them.
If they're going to do something, they would have done something to those humans who were eyeballing him there and then.
Not necessarily. We don't know what they're doing here. I don't think that they accidentally came here.
Obviously not.
So they're probably not there for any
We didn't
random
accidentally
people.
send a thing to Mars.
Exactly. So they're probably not there to kidnap some randomers just because he saw them.
Imagine they just took a couple humans, took them back to their universe or wherever,
Well,
and
possible.
I was like, hey, look what I found and look what I got.
It's possible. I mean, we've heard of people saying they've been abducted by aliens before. And they woke up in
drop
random
me out. I'm sorry. I just can't, Michael. I can't.
But it's not outside the realms of possibility for somebody to be living in a very rural area. And if these things understand our planet, then they would go there and get these people that don't understand how to communicate with people, are going to look stupid when they're explaining it, and go and abduct them and do things to them. It's not impossible, right? We can't be the only people in this universe or the only beings in this universe that are sentient.
I get that, but you may as well just give me a wand and tell me I can now do magic.
It's absolutely nothing like that.
But the aliens seem to have all these supernatural powers, and they can make a force field around them and all this stuff. But it is, though, because you couldn't just walk out this door right now and have a force field around you.
Yeah, but I don't have government
Never
tech.
in your lifetime will you ever be able to do that. That's not tech. That's.
No, you're thinking of force fields like Mortal Kombat.
But if their thing crashed and disappeared, where's this force field coming from?
If their thing crashed and disappeared?
Yeah, it said their spaceship crashed. Everyone heard the crash. And then it just disappeared. Poof, gone. But it left a mark in the floor.
That their spaceship.
How did these people not even see these aliens disappear? How did the aliens just go?
I don't know.
Exactly.
They're
Why?
beings from another planet.
But this is what I'm saying. If a 10-foot alien was in my garden right now, I will be watching and I will be able to tell you, Michael, they did this and they disappeared like this.
Mm-hmm.
Why can they not give us that information?
Yeah, but we even have aircrafts. We have stealth aircrafts. And whilst our technology might not be as advanced to them to be completely invisible, it's again, if our technology's here and they've traveled to our planet, why is it unbelievable to think that their technology's up here and they can do all sorts of crazy shit?
I don't know. I think I just sound hella ignorant right now, though.
It's not ignorant. It's just that we live in a big universe. There's probably so many things out there. But I do think it's worth mentioning that we are on the cusp of a lot of crazy shit happening on Earth, and now this is happening. It's very possible that this could be a distraction by the government as well. I'm just entertaining the idea because I've always believed that aliens exist. I think that some people are probably not lying. I think just like with ghosts, where I do believe in ghosts, I think a lot of people lie. But I do think that there are supernatural things that exist that maybe a small number of people ever get to see or encounter or experience. I think majority of people know because it's sensational content, they'll lie about it. And so it makes it look like the entire thing's not true. And I think the same is for aliens. I think some people probably have encountered aliens before. Some people probably did get abducted. And then there's probably a lot of people that want to get famous quickly and make up the story, right? Where did that start happening, right? You know, the story that people had been abducted by aliens. It started somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I could just go right now to the BBC and say, I saw an alien in my garden. And paint them this whole story and picture that happened. Get somebody to make a weird screeching sound next to my Ring doorbell. Go, look, this was the sound that happened. How's anyone going to know if I'm telling the truth or not?
Well, they won't, but it's worth investigating.
How are they going to investigate? What can they do?
It depends on who's doing it. I mean, they said that there were government cars there blacked out. They're probably not the same as the police. They probably look into things differently.
Bombshell claims from a military whistleblower. UFO wreckage recovered by the U.S. kept classified by a secret government program for decades. Tonight, a world television exclusive you will only see on News Nation. Welcome to Elizabeth Vargas Reports, earning your trust every night. UFOs exist. The The U.S. government found quite a number of them, and they are indeed of non-human origin. Those are the explosive allegations from a former intelligence officer tonight in a whistleblower complaint that the Inspector General is taking very seriously. 36-year-old Air Force veteran David Grush is exposing what he calls a top-secret military program that has reportedly found wreckage of fully intact UFOs. The government now calls them UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. For years, there have been whispers and rumors that the government had aircraft of non-human origin. This report is the first evidence it might be true. The Inspector General has called Grush's complaint urgent and credible. Tonight, we have a World Television exclusive interview with the whistleblower in which he claims we not only have the aircraft, but the government has been keeping much of its secret from Congress and from the public. News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton is here with the story, and this is a blockbuster.
I think they have been keeping shit from us. I think the government keeps shit from us all the time. If aliens were here, they would not reveal that to us. Under no circumstances. That's a whole other world.
Yeah, but they have to also protect us. If they know that the world's going to go crazy, if they know about aliens, they have to protect us. They can't just expose something so big on us and just expect humans to act normal. Humans ain't normal. We've established that on this channel.
Doesn't that go against what you were saying earlier?
What was I saying earlier?
You were saying, why wouldn't they just tell us?
I said, what's the issue with them not telling us?
Well, why do you think people go crazy?
I don't know.
Because if you tell people that there's an existence of like a certain animals come back, like the dodo or whatever, I'm sure most people...
Dodos don't exist no more.
Dodo's been extinct forever. In ages since they died out.
I'm not very scientific.
Or like the saber-toothed tiger.
Never heard of it.
Have you watched Ice Age?
Yeah, but I didn't really pay attention.
Well, you know the big woolly mammoth in Ice Age, then the tiger, that's the saber-tooth, the one with the long teeth.
Long teeth.
Those died out a long time ago.
Oh, they were actually real?
Yeah, those were real. If those came back into existence, you would be like, why wouldn't they tell us about that, right? If they dropped that on us, I don't think anyone's going to go crazy, but aliens have so many implications. So many implications if they're real. So many things can change for humans forever. Our belief systems, our ways of thinking. There's so many things that would change if they're real. That's why I think that they hide it from us.
It is a blockbuster. It's really hard to wrap your mind around this. I've been working on this for the past couple of weeks. I'm still having a hard time processing all of it. Over the last couple of years, it sort of became mainstream to discuss UFOs. The government has released videos. They've acknowledged that we don't know what some of this stuff is out there that we have on camera, but this really takes it all to another level. For the very first time, the world is about to hear from a former high-level U.S. intelligence officer who says the government has some of the unidentified craft in its possession. He is revealing these exclusive details about the secret government program.
We're going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow.
We have all seen these blurry videos of unidentified flying objects. Video evidence, if you will, that old tales of UFOs may not all be conspiracy theories. In recent years, Congress starting an official U.S. government Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, recently renamed the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO. And now in a News Nation exclusive, David Grush, an Air Force veteran, former member of that task force, and veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, is formally blowing the whistle on secrets he says no one has ever shared publicly before.
The thing is with this is why I'm struggling to get my head around this guy and what he's saying is if the government is hiding so much, they would not, absolutely not let this guy get away with just exposing and telling everyone the stuff he's saying right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it seems just a bit staged to me.
Who's saying they're letting him get away with it?
Well, the government's got the power to get anything removed off the internet. They would have had everything removed by now.
They actually don't have that power. Once this video goes up, millions of people will screen record it and that's it.
Yeah, and then they can just keep getting it taken down. TikTok takes down anything that says Andrew Tate's name in it.
Yeah, but there's it's built into the algorithm, right? If the government tries to take this down, which they can, but I don't think there's there's no good to them trying to take this down
Well,
now, because if they try to take this down, that's going to solidify what he's saying.
There's a film that I've never watched before, but I've always wanted to watch it. And I think it was something with this sort of concept, and they ended up killing the guy, or wanted to kill him, because he knew too much about NASA and the government and all that shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this guy's put his balls on the line. I wouldn't be surprised if some story came out about him. You're telling on the government. You must be crazy.
You are one of the most trusted former intelligence officials in the US defense and intelligence establishment.
Yes, I was.
You were trusted with the most intimate secrets.
Yes.
Grush sitting down with award-winning investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who's reporting for News Nation and has spent years reporting on the UFO question.
What conclusion did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No. I thought it was totally nuts, and I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse. People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that confided in me they were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me, based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof, that there was, in fact, a program that the UAP task force was not read into.
Grush alleges the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft for
Do you not find it convenient that this is coming out at the same time as these other people supposedly seeing these 10-foot giants in their garden?
I do think the timing could be seen as suspicious, but I think a lot of the time when information like this gets out, I mean, it could be a controlled thing where they are dropping tidbits of information on us. So I'm not saying that this guy hasn't been put up to this, because again, I don't know. The government could be pulling one over us, and they could have sent this guy out to be like, I want you to go out there and say this, and then a couple of days later, you're gonna come out and say that I was lying about everything, and it just sort of like moves everyone's attention away again. Anything could have been going on. That's not gonna move my position on aliens. I do think that they're here. I've always thought that, and I do believe that there's other life forms out there. Whether or not they're crashing or landing here frequently, I don't know. Whether or not the government has their spacecrafts, I don't know. That's just something that I believe. I don't have any concrete facts on that. It just seems crazy to me that people would think that there's nothing else out there with technology that's either on par, close to, or above ours. The universe is just too big. I just no way that I could believe that. Just on a numbers game, like the probability of that being the case is actually lower, that it would be the case that there's nothing out there that has technology, considering how big it is.
Decades. He's filed a whistleblower complaint saying he gave what he calls the classified proof to Congress and the intelligence community inspector general. News Nation has confirmed David Grush's credentials and resume. We've not seen or verified the alleged proof he says he's provided to investigators. He says he can't show us the proof for national security reasons. He also tells us he's not seen photos of the alleged craft himself, but has talked extensively with other intelligence officials who have.
If you're right, if you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
I believe him. Not I believe that he's necessarily telling the truth, but I believe that we are not alone. And it's the American government and governments around the world are very well versed in giving people bad information, in spinning a narrative. They do that with us all the time. So that for them to give us disinformation about aliens is not outside the realms of possibility. We've literally done videos covering them, literally chatting shit to us and chatting shit to children and lying about all sorts of things. So it's not crazy for me to think that they would be lying about aliens.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
It's also harder for people to wrap their minds around the concept of a crashed object from somewhere else. It's easier to accept that, yeah, we see things in the sky that we can't explain.
Journalist Leslie Kane broke Rush's whistleblower story this morning in the debrief. Ms. Kane's career has been mainstream and credible, having written a series of reports on UFOs in the New York Times dating back to 2017. He has the credentials, but there's no documents that he's handed over. There's no pictures. And as a journalist, you want to see documents, you want to see pictures. Does that raise a red flag?
Not at all, Brian. I mean, you mean documents that actually describe the craft?
Correct, yeah, like government documents, or to be able to see it for ourselves.
Of course, don't we all want that? And the problem with that is all of that information is classified. You know, as we said in the story, everything that Grush told Congress and told the Inspector General of both the IC, the Intelligence Community Inspector General, and the Department of Defense Inspector General, all of that information is classified.
In 2017, Kane reported exclusively in the New York Times that the Pentagon had a secret UFO program. 3 years later, the Pentagon confirmed her story. Her latest report is even more explosive, but Kane says she has multiple sources who back up Grush's story.
Thing is, is that if we believe this guy, if we believe what he's saying is true, he's well respected in his field, right? He had high praise and honors attached to his name. If he has actually come out against the military and the government as a whistleblower, he's effectively put himself in the line of fire. So if he is to be believed, he has nothing to gain from this. He has everything to lose, right? Because if he's found out to be a liar, then his reputation's in the bin. And if he's telling the truth, the government are not going to be happy with him. He's never going to have peace of mind again. This guy's going to be on more watch lists than Andrew Tate. So I don't know why you would come out and say something like this unless you were telling the truth. But maybe that's my bias because I want there to be hard evidence that there are aliens walking around.
I believe it because of all the sources I have who have told me the same thing. So who am I to doubt these very, very high-level people who have been inside these programs for decades, have done their work, and are all telling me the same thing? I mean, I don't think there's some kind of conspiracy among all these people who don't know each other to make something like this up.
So I've got to be blunt about this. You're not making this up. This is not a lie.
No, absolutely not.
Because everybody watching this right now is looking at your face. They're going, is this guy for real?
I am for real. And I'm sitting here at great personal risk and obvious professional risk by talking to you today.
What's your opinion on his body language and facial expression just then? I am for real.
I think that's just the way the guy talks.
No, but I'm just asking your opinion. Do you think he's for real?
Yeah, I believe him. I believe him. Well, I don't believe him 100%. You can't believe anything 100%. But I'm leaning more towards why would he come out and say something so insane like this? Because he's risking a lot by coming out with something like that. The reason that I brought up the other plane of existence is that this is actually a 40-minute interview. This is just a condensed version.
Yeah, I watched it earlier.
Yeah, and he's saying that there's a theory that these beings are not aliens that we're thinking of and that they have come from a dimension that exists on Earth, but it's just a place that we can't reach, which is even more insane.
See, stuff like that is what I can't really get behind because...
You believe in heaven.
Science is a real thing, yeah. Humans have gone into space, so it's very difficult to believe that it would be that close to Earth, yet no humans can scientifically figure that out.
It's not, you're thinking about it the wrong way. It doesn't matter how far our spacecrafts can go. If something exists within the parameters of Earth, but on a higher plane of existence, it doesn't matter what tech we have, we won't be able to reach it. It's a different mode of existence. It's like another dimension, right? Because like heaven could be, I don't know how like the whole heaven and hell thing works, but it could be right here, right? When we die, we ascend to heaven. But it's another plane of existence. There's no spaceship that we build now that's going to fly us to heaven, right? Heaven could be anywhere.
But heaven is a belief.
But you believe it exists.
Yeah, but it's not everyone does believe in that.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you believe it exists and you acknowledge that a higher plane of existence is out there and no spacecraft can get there because you have to die and be accepted into heaven, right? What he's saying in the clip, if you go and watch the 40-minute interview, he says that there's a theory amongst military officials that these are not just aliens, that these things exist on a higher form of existence and that they've come here, they've come down here. Or come up here. I don't know if he's talking about heaven or hell or something completely different. But that's what that's one of the theories going. I know this shit sounds crazy. It sounds like some stuff out of an anime. But again, I don't know why he would risk coming out and saying some shit like this if there wasn't some validity to it. And he was one of the most trusted officials within his work. So I think people should go and watch the full interview. I think it's really interesting. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward here. Like I said, I've always been very much a believer that aliens exist. And so when people bring up the subject to me, I could acknowledge that my bias is going to lean towards wanting to listen to them because I do believe the government lies to us about all sorts of things. I do believe that the government tries to control what we see and how we think. And I think that if something like that really does exist and that there's beings out there that are like 9 feet, 10 feet tall with all of this tech, that they would lie to us and keep it from us. But I don't know, man. We're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out.
I saw a video the other day on TikTok of this guy who's 7'4".
Right.
He literally looked like a giant.
Are you talking about Yao Ming? The basketball player?
No, this guy wasn't a basketball player. He was a rapper.
Oh. Well, I mean, there's tall people out there.
How tall is that basketball player?
About 7'4", 7'5".
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he single?
I don't think Yao Ming's your type.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. I'm very interested to see what's going on. I wonder if they're
interested.
I wonder if they're going to release more information because there's been more and more talk of aliens going forward. A lot of my friends that are into conspiracies are telling me that this is a distraction and something else is about to happen and all of our attention is going to be over here on aliens and then some shit's going to hit the fan and it's going to blindside us. So, I don't know, we're delving into conspiracies now, but you guys let us know what you think in the comment section. Do you think the aliens are here? Do you think they've always been here? How tall do you think they are?